I'm going to use this old flip camera to make some short videos, I think. Videos I don't want to make a whole video on, so I'm just going to make a short video, hopefully, and then I'll put a series of those together on subjects that I really don't care that much about. But I figure I'd make a video because, yeah, I have an opinion. So anyway, there's, at this current moment, a bit of a fight between PC Myers and Thunderf00t over some remarks Thunderf00t made about how everybody should just lighten up and blah 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 regarding all this feminism stuff at conventions. I guess that's what you could call them. Whatever these conferences are. They do have a convention atmosphere. But anyway, so PC Myers is basically saying, you know, Thunderf00t doesn't have a clue and is a misogynist moron. And, you know, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, and Thunderf00t is really just being kind of a buffoon. Says, you know, me and a chick, we had a great time because I chewed on her leg. He does look sort of like a clown at these things. The point is they are conferences, okay? So they aren't just going to the bar. When people go to bars, you know, the girls usually go, you know, in a group. You know, they usually arrange to have some sort of backup plan. When they're going to one of these conferences, these women probably aren't thinking about, I want to pick up some people and blah 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 and have a good time and get drunk. They're thinking about, yeah, I want to go to a conference and I want to be treated like an intelligent person and I want to have dignity and all that kind of stuff. And so it is a little bit of a different atmosphere. And the concession has to be made that it's still a man's world, and especially at these conferences, you know, they're probably 90% men, 10% women. That is a circumstance that somebody probably should be aware of, and they probably should just make a couple of statements to the gentlemen participants that you know, the ladies are here as you know, contributors, intellectual contributors. They're not here you know, to be your party fodder. Party fodder. Yeah, they're not party material. And it really isn't just like back home. It is a different environment. They might not be escorted here. They might not have backup plans, and they might need to be treated with a little extra consideration. You might want to tone it down just a hair, just so you all don't look like idiots and assholes. I don't think it would be a bad idea to, you know, let people know that, yeah, you know, we're here at a conference. We're at a bar, we're sort of as a group, and maybe we don't want to make asses of ourselves. Maybe that would be a good idea. Yeah, I don't see any great huge harm in that. Thunderf00t doesn't like being preached to. He says, well, you know, the girls like it when I chew on their legs. Why should I have to ask? Yeah, because not every girl is going to be pleased, so it's okay for you to decide. You're going to use your judgment, and when you're wrong, what's the consequence? And again, the point is leave that crap at home. You know, when you're going to go be scientists, and yeah, have a little bit of fun, but understand the context and maybe tone it down a notch. It is sort of like the idea that it's sort of you're forced to be in a gang or a group, and when you're forced into that group, you sort of have to try to respect the fact that maybe you should PG the whole thing. You know, keep the extremes in their place, and you know, be considerate that it's kind of a different atmosphere, and people will be there for different reasons. It won't be like the bar at home. So anyway, so that was pretty lame with Thunderf00t. Oh, it was pretty clueless. Yeah. Anyway, squeaky sinker. Anyway, yeah, that was longer than I intended. It's pretty much a video, but we'll see how she goes. See how this works. See if there's some other subject that comes to mind. And such. Flower. Into it a flower. Yeah, black-eyed Susan. Girl. Anyway, until next time. I did hit the button. I got time for another quickie here. Try to keep it 2 or 3 minutes, but you know, can't make rules. Professor Anton and friend Wife, I guess. Anyway, did a video on drugs, a dialogue on drugs in the media. Really, it was just a book promotion thing. Apparently, they were, invited to write articles on a book that I guess is making some point about the impact of chemistry on, humans going into the future. And there's just so many ways to look at it. I mean, there's the recreational users, and then there's the people really looking for the pure escape, the LSDs, the tripping, the, let me have an adventure, and more meaningful. So, I mean, I guess you could call one, recreational use for entertainment. Yeah, it's like casual sex, and then somebody wants the more important relationship thing, so then they go with the LSD or something else. And then and then you got all these other pharmaceuticals that are used just to get people through the day. And then you got the old standbys of alcohol and similar intoxicants. And yeah, it's worth it's a subject. And, how many people are in one way or another doped, to get through their life. How many are running away from life, and desperately seeking higher meaning through chemical augmentation. The end game is basically this idea that we do want to just feel satisfied. We want to feel like we are something. That's why cocaine works so well for so many people. It's a big ego boost kind of drug. Makes you feel good about yourself. Makes you feel a bit indestructible and fearless. Those are all fun things to have in a world that's pretty scary and frightening. So I'm not commentating on people's choice to run the fuck away with chemistry. I'm just commentating on the fact that no one seems to want to take any responsibility for just, maintaining the future, keep perpetuating this nonsense. If you're gonna bail out with a drug to get you through the day or to recreationally make your life tolerable, then concede life is fail. Concede you can't take it straight. Concede it's probably not a good idea for somebody to replicate you because you're pretty much a fuck up. Come on. It's all of this chemistry is sledgehammer. None of it's precision. None of it gets just what you're looking for. And most of the time it got the huge liabilities attached to it. So it's just drugs are bad. Okay. I mean, if you can do without it, do without it. And if you're going to do with it, then concede that, life is just too stupid. Raise your hand and say it before you run away into your drug. So anyway, enough of a statement. Yeah, not a subject I care too much for. Anyway, until next time and such. Yeah, I guess I'll add a little bit on the Thunderfoot thing, though. I did say the word convention, which was sort of interesting, because there's a huge difference between a convention and a conference. If this had been a convention, well then, yeah, debauchery comes with conventioning. But conferencing, it doesn't come with. That's why they're two different words, two different ideas. And, yeah, it's just a different kind of mindset. And let's also understand that Thunderfoot's having this pissy fit merely because people are talking about it. Nobody's suggesting legislation. No one wants to put all the men in little cages or something. They're just saying that maybe we should have a little bit of murmur in the background, a little noise in the background that reminds the males in the participation to act with a little bit of decorum and respect. Oh my God. They advised me to be decent and respectful. What a horror. Yeah, come on. Grow up, Thunderfoot, you silly person. Yeah, okay, yeah, couldn't get the camera to start. Anyway, I do one more of these. Skeptical Heretic did a video. I think it's on the healthcare thing. Anyway, so he made this idiotic point that it's going to be this boom because we're going to have all this new job creation and blah blah blah. And it's just such a healthcare is, it's one of those necessary things, but it's not productive work. Okay, it's really unproductive. Actually, it's consumed, used up, and it's gone. Yeah, And all this expense on these Band-Aid treatments, all this extra expense that's going to be because, you know, we don't have a copay, we don't have anything to discourage people really to really use the system all over the place. Since they paid for it, they're going to want to get their money's worth, since they're being forced to pay for it. So yeah, there's going to be less money for research. So, you know, we're going to spend less on curing disease, which is the real productive dollars spent on medicine is in research, and instead we're going to be spending a fortune on liver transplants and all kinds of therapies to try to get people to, you know, whatever, eke out a few more years. And it's going to be really, really expensive, especially now that you have so many psychiatric conditions, STD and WDD, well, STD, yeah, STDs too. You got all kinds of shit out there, and it's really expensive. And so the drug companies are going to get rich producing pharmaceuticals. They're not going to spend money on research, and no one else is going to have any money for the research. So yeah, it's going to be a big fail. It's not going to be productive. It's not going to be a boom for the economy. It's going to be wasted labor. Sorry, but that's what healthcare is. It's the downside. It's not the upside. You want to have as small a healthcare industry as possible because it's not real productive work. The patients always die eventually. Yeah, it's not fertilizer. It's not a house. It's not a building. It's not a city. It's not a water line. It's not a bridge. It's not anything. It's not something you want to spend a lot of money on. That's all. And you certainly don't want to be forcing people to buy into it. That's for sure. Anyway. All right. Till next time. Such. Oh, come on. I hit the button.